I am first and foremost a creative, have been my entire professional life, about 40 years now. And I've worked in print, radio, TV, film, games, and the web. My installation was sort of a mashup of a couple of different influences. As a child, I was always very fascinated with small, tiny worlds. I loved model railroads. I loved Christmas window displays, snow globes, the film Horton Hears a Who, anything that was tiny. And I also like the idea of Easter eggs. I love the idea of surprises in art and whimsy. So when I was preparing material and proposals for Beakerhead, this idea just sort of popped into my head. It was the concept of a tiny world that was just under the surface of our everyday perception, hiding in plain sight, that people could find and look down into. So one of the things I realized when I discovered Beakerhead and their interest in bringing these disparate worlds together, these different worlds together, is how much artists and engineers and scientists are all very similar. They're quite different, of course. We think of them as being different kinds of people, but in some ways they're very similar. There's that passion and that drive and that refusal to accept limitations or difficulties. There's something about artists and scientists and engineers that is a shared experience and a shared passion. And I think they can learn a lot from working with each other and understanding how the other group sees the world. Artists see the world in definitely different ways, as do engineers, but I think they can definitely learn from each other. And I think it's like two halves of the brain, the right half of the brain and the left half of the brain working together, and that's bigger than the sum of its parts. Last year I learned about Beakerhead for the first time on the web. I'd never heard of it. It instantly caught my attention because it was speaking to me. I'm that kind of person. It also made sense for me as an artist because I sensed that they would get my art, and indeed they did. I submitted 15 proposals and they loved all of them. But obviously time's an issue. So I heard about Beakerhead. I saw a call for animators on the web. One of the guys who was doing an installation needed some additional footage, and I had that available, so I donated it. Then I went down to see what Beakerhead was all about, went to Beaker Night, and the more I learned about their mission, their core mission, the more interested I was, and by the middle of winter I was busy writing proposals. More Beakerhead. I'm really smitten with the mission of Beakerhead. I think they're doing a tremendous job in awakening the wonder and awakening an interest in science and art in young people. They do a lot of work in the educational arena. So I want to do more work for them. I think what they're doing is important for education, very important for Calgary and Alberta in terms of growing the tech economy.
Hi, I'm Xstine Cook, and I'm the Artistic Director of Calgary Animated Objects Society, and I'm sitting here with the Bump family.
Hi, I'm Bennett and I'm 16.
I'm Bert and I'm 15.
I'm Medina and I'm 14.
I'm Buddy and I'm 13.
I'm Billy and I'm 12.
I'm Bee and I'm 8.
And for any more of our content, check us out at bumfamily.com. The Bump family makes animations. We've been making them for around 8 or 9 years. And it started out with just sort of, Mom making us go to an animation lockdown and animating sort of, but not really because we were really little. And now it sort of blossomed into a thing we do and the thing that we are.
So the Bump family are a group of 3 sisters and 3 cousins, my nieces, and we make a movie once a year at Quick Draw Animation. And this year we decided to make a movie, make an augmented reality experience, and make a giant inflatable of our main character, Lilly Monster. We pitched the idea to Beakerhead to do an installation on the Odeon building, which is this beautiful building on the corner of Marta Loop, and went and looked at it and could just see our giant, crazy Lilly character up on the balcony. So we thought about why would Lilly be on the balcony, and we figured out, well, she's in her lab and she makes this experiment and it all goes wrong and she kind of bursts through the building. And so she's going to be there all week, You'll be able to drive by. I don't think you'll be able to miss her. She's like a 16-foot tall orange monster. And in addition to that, the kids actually shot the movie of Lilly in the lab, of what happens in Lily's lab. And then just because, that's not enough to have a 16-foot tall monster, we also made an augmented reality experience of Lily Monster. If you don't know what augmented reality is, that's where you're looking at reality through your phone and there's animations that are placing themselves on the real scene that your phone is seeing. So we've created Lily Monster in augmented reality and a little game that you play at different locations in Marda Loop. So it's kind of like a treasure hunt where you go around and try to collect the little ingredients for her experiment. And when you bring them back to Marda Loop, then something happens there and it's really cool. Beakerhead put out a call looking for a big installation on that corner of the city. And we looked at the building and kind of thought about what are all the different things we could do. And we've been working with Lily for 6 years, like making movies with that character for 6 years. And she's a pretty kind of like hilarious character. Like she lives in the human world, but she's kind of oblivious how big and crazy and terrifying she is. And she's not entirely logical. So it's kind of fun to just like put this giant orange monster in the middle of Marda Loop. And Marda Loop's going crazy. Like Marda Loop's doing all this Lily themed food and drinks and different things. And yeah, it's going to be nuts. Well, we don't know. We definitely want to continue developing the augmented reality piece. It was a pretty big learning curve. And we kind of envisioned this whole universe within that augmented reality. And, with the time we had, we've kind of like delivered about this much of that universe. So we would love a chance to expand that universe quite a bit more. But then the Bum family, you can talk about our next project.
Yeah, so every year we make one film that features Lily and talking about the next adventure she goes on. So far she's had a makeover and gotten a pet, and she's gone on a road trip and she's babysat a human child, and last year she went to a fishing camp and she's gone on road trips. So our last film, which was about Lily going to a fishing camp, which was based on true events that happen at the cabin that we all go to in the summer, was sort of an ode to our grandfather and his fishing camp. So next year we're planning on making a film where Lily goes to the dog show, and I guess we're planning on making a film about Lily going to the dog show for our grandmother.
Yeah, my mom's a dog crazy person. And Maisie and Berlin have helped her run the dog show out there. And so they have a inside knowledge about how dog shows are run. And we all thought it was pretty funny to think of Lily going to a dog show and what would happen.